Hey everyone, Joe and Lois here. Super excited to be here today. Lois has a fantastic story to share with you today. And we just want to she's going to share the story with you, and then we're just going to kind of go through it and analyze and just break some of it apart. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So Lois, go ahead and share with them what you went through with our client recently.
Okay, so Joe, I'm glad to do that because the story I'm about to tell you is such a typical story. It was my story, and I think it was your story as well. But let me tell you a little bit about it. We had an individual call us who has been in the coaching business, has been looking for tools for how do I become a digital marketer with so I can get my skills out there for people to consume. And just like I had done, and I know you have done too, Joe, is he had gone to one expert resource after another. And one expert said, well, just a minute, I don't quite know how to do that. I'm going to call a friend of mine who I think has done that before, and he'll walk me through it so I can help you with that. And then a little bit later, it was like, well, just a minute, I need another person to give us advice on that. We called that person. He said, by the time he was finished, he had nothing, and a lot of time had been wasted.
Yeah.
Others had taken his money and then gave him back something where nothing was linked and worked together. And that was my experience. I had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on different experts who promised that they would deliver a product that would work. And yes, there were parts of it that were good. And yes, there were things that I learned. However, nothing worked. I had nothing to go out there and market. And so, although yes, there was something there, it was not usable. So I liken it to going to the department store and asking to buy a dress and being handed a bolt of fabric, scissors, and needles, and having the retailer say, well, I got you what you need for a dress. You can just finish it. Well, if I wanted to make it, I'd make it. But if I want something that's a finished product, I expect to be able to wear it. In the same way, when people come and look for an expert, they really want the expert to know what they were talking about. And that was this person's experience. And so he was dealing with a lot of frustration of feeling like he'd been used, he'd been abused, and the system had betrayed him. So that is one of the challenges that I think that we all deal with. And so as we talked about, well, what does he need? How can we meet a need so that he doesn't feel used and abused? Yeah. And so part of what we do is we have put together all the pieces that we have learned are essential and created it. So all you have to do is put your words in, change it out for what it is that you want, but it's ready to go and you can use it. And not only that, but we continue to support you for 90 days afterwards because we want you to be successful. We don't want anybody else to have our experience or this gentleman's experience that we just learned about. So what are some of the other issues? Feeling like you've been burned and used up. What else have you found, Joe?
I think one of the things that I'm seeing, and it's getting, I hate to say it, but it's getting worse in the online community. It's 2019 was just such a huge year for this expert type of approach in a lot of marketing. It was like, are you the guru or are you not the guru? And we're seeing a lot of fake experts out there. I mean, it's literally every single day I have a social media presence, and that means that I'm out there, I'm consuming some social media so I can stay on top of what's current and what's not current and make sure that I'm speaking to those subjects that are relevant. And I'm seeing just a ton of experts that aren't experts. And that can be really hard to sort through. And I know personally, I've been through quite a few courses trying to figure out exactly what it is I need to be doing so that I can move our business forward. And you bump into a lot of people that claim to be experts that when push comes to shove, there's multiple ways you can look at being an expert. And I use this phrase sometimes when I'm helping people. An expert is somebody that's one step ahead of you. And that's one way to be an expert. And that's where a lot of these guys are. However, when you're putting together a business that you want to, so as a coach, you have a choice. You're either going to be a coach that makes somewhere around $26,000 to $33,000 a year, or you're going to be a coach that earns six figures and above. The difference in the expert that you need to be looking for is very significant. You don't want somebody that's one step ahead of you if you're looking to make a six-figure business. You want somebody that's multiple steps ahead of you, and filtering through that stuff can be really challenging because there's a lot of really slick ways that people have learned how to talk and communicate on the internet. It makes it really hard to get in there and validate whether or not this person or these individuals can serve you to the highest capacity. So sorting through whether or not somebody is actually truly an expert and whether they're going to be able to help you at your stage in the business can be really a little bit daunting for a lot of people. And so one of the common ways you can sort through that is by finding credible social proof. Yeah, you can make testimonials. We could pay somebody to build testimonials and put them on our website. I mean, people do that. That's a real thing. However, getting those, when you see video content, testimonials, that's one of the bigger indicators that you have somebody that's actually probably have done what they said, because it's really hard to fake the sincerity and the authenticity of those people speaking in those videos. And that's why you'll see those a lot of times. So that's one way that you can do that. One of the other things that Lois and I have seen with the people that we're talking to and our clients is that they have no more time to waste. They are so completely, they've been inundated so many times and they're literally getting close to their wits' end. They just don't have the time to waste with things that aren't going to work, with systems that aren't proven and tested, and they're just not going to work. And so that's the third thing that we just have really seen a lot of people is they're tired of wasting their time. They've been through so many gurus, so many experts, they've been burned so many times, they do not have the time to waste. And so that's probably number three. So I know you have a couple more points you wanted to cover, so I'll let you go ahead and dive in there.
I think the other thing that we're hearing from people is, wow, you know what? I feel like I failed so many times because the experts I've gone to haven't solved the problem for me. And I can't afford to fail one more time because financially it will bust me.
Yeah.
And people are almost at a desperate point. I know I have felt that way at times, is you got to be kidding me. I'm going to have to do this too and buy that and pull this together. And I've got to learn that. And that's going to cost me this to learn it. And there's almost a point where you hit a sense of desperation because you feel like I'm just a paper thin distance away from failure, right? And you're trying to be positive, you're trying to be proactive, and it's hard to do that when you're feeling that way. And then the very last thing I think that we hear over and over again is the whole process is so complicated. I'm trying to be an expert and provide a service. So I'm bringing everything that's important to be, say, the best health coach out there, or the best physical fitness coach, or marriage coach, or whatever it is that is your special talent. And you go, really? I now have to also learn how to do YouTube, and I have to learn about Facebook, and I have to learn about Instagram, and I have to learn about how to post, and I have to learn how to boost my posts, and I have to learn how to advertise, and the list goes on. You go, where then do I actually serve my client? And that has been my experience as well. And so we have really worked hard to pull together everything that's needed and create it into templates So you don't have to be so overwhelmed. Yes, there's work. Yes, there's things that you need to do in order to have your voice so people actually want to hire you and know that you have something to offer.
Yeah.
But we can pull the pieces together so it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. And that just gives us joy. Just if we can help a few people really do well and be successful, what a joy that would be for us, wouldn't it, Joe?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that I heard that I just want to reinforce to people is that not only are we providing those tools and resources, but that point in time when you get really frustrated and you don't have somebody to ask questions to, that's why we include in our program, we include that 90-day coaching program. You're going to have a lot of personal contact with us for 90 days so that we can get you through all those little hiccups. And so you can figure out all those things so that you can put a pattern in place for your business that works and successful. Because that, I mean, it's easy to get unmotivated when you failed a couple times and things aren't working right out the gate and you're just like, yeah, we've got your back. And so that's an important part that I wanted to make sure that everybody understood. That's, you know, we want to cover down on that as well for you guys. So anyway, do you want to close us out for?
Sure, we want people to be successful. We want you to have a story to tell. We want you to come back and tell it to everybody.
Yeah.
So thanks so much, everybody. And please click subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think. If you have questions, please ask us your questions. By sharing your questions, we learn what it is that you want to know, and we can provide information that perhaps will be helpful to you as you go through your journey. So thanks so much. We look forward to talking with you and working with you.
Yeah. See you next time.